There are very few original Disneyland rides that still operate to this day. One of the most popular, Autopia. In 1956, US President Dwight D. Eisenhower signed the Federal Aid Highway Act, which created the American freeway system. He originally signed the bill in part out of fear of a nuclear war, and felt that a highway system would greatly increase the ease of evacuating entire cities. But before Eisenhower ever signed the bill, Walt Disney saw the highway system for what it would truly become: transportation for the future. Walt and his team designed Autopia for Tomorrowland to showcase this grand dream of the future, and it opened with Disneyland on July 17, 1955. The original prototype for the ride lacked bumpers, which led to the vehicles being almost completely destroyed after test runs. Once Disney added bumpers to the cars, the first group of Autopia vehicles were designated the Mark Is. By 1958, Disney was on the Mark IV generation as a direct result of the abuse the ride vehicles went through. The Mark Vs came out shortly after that with a new look, and the Mark VIs came out in 1964, just before Disney added a new ride feature, a center guardrail. The center guardrail saved the vehicles from such intense abuse, and the ride saw only one more vehicular update until 1999. The Mark VIIs came out in 1967 and were stylized after the Corvette Stingray. With a new, more resilient frame, these cars cost $5,000 each to manufacture, or over $36,000 adjusted for inflation in 2016. Upon opening, Autopia immediately became a Disney favorite and was followed up with Junior Autopia and Fantasyland. The vehicles for this ride were identical to those of Autopia, with the exception of an extension block on the gas pedals so younger guests could also experience the freedom of tomorrow's highway system. Junior Autopia opened in 1956, its entrance adjacent to the Matterhorn. The Autopias continued to grow in popularity, and in 1957, Disney opened a third Autopia, Midget Autopia. Midget Autopia was mostly situated where It's a Small World sits today, and catered to guests too young to enjoy either Autopia or Junior Autopia. Midget Autopia became a child favorite and a Disneyland staple. All three Autopias operated independently until 1966, when Midget Autopia closed to make way for It's a Small World. The Midget Autopia vehicles were donated to Walt's childhood hometown of Marceline, Missouri. Midget Autopia opened at the Marceline Walt Disney Municipal Park in 1966, but closed 11 years later due to a lack of replacement parts. Its track still sits there today. Junior Autopia became Fantasyland Autopia in 1959 and continued to operate under that name until 1991, when it became the Rescue Rangers Raceway. After 1992, it continued to operate as Fantasyland Autopia, but was only open on busy days. In 2000, both remaining Disneyland Autopias closed for renovation. The tracks were combined, and Autopia opened with Chevron as the new main sponsor. Disney also updated the ride vehicles, this time with specific Chevron-themed characters: Dusty, an off-road vehicle, Susie, a VW Bug-themed car, and Sparky, a sports car. These three vehicles would be the Mark 8 line of Autopia cars. In this version of Autopia, guests were given driver's licenses while they waited in the queue and were treated to a new theme song, which was taken directly from the People Mover attraction, which closed at Disneyland in 1995. Guests were also treated to 3D animations of the Chevron vehicles during their time in the queue, and could buy toy versions of the cars in the gift shop upon exiting the ride. Chevron chose not to renew their sponsorship of Autopia in 2012. The vehicles remained the same, but references to Chevron in the queue and other sections of the ride were removed. Honda became the new sponsor in 2016, and the ride vehicles were again updated, making the current generation at Disneyland the Mark 9s. Autopia has since appeared at every Disneyland-style Disney park and continues to operate at each of them with the exception of Hong Kong Disneyland. It closed there in June 2016. So what do you think? What's your favorite generation of Autopia? Did you have a chance to ride either the Junior or Midget Autopias? What about the Autopias at the other Disney parks? Comment with your thoughts below, and we'll see you on the next episode of Disney Declassified. If you enjoyed this episode of Disney Declassified, a like and subscription would help a lot. We're a new channel and we really need your support to help make future episodes. Plus, subscribing will keep you notified of future episodes as soon as they come out. Thanks a lot and we'll see you next time.